Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Janelle. This is Janelle Knows Money. Today we're going to be talking about the interview question, tell me about yourself, and how to answer it in a very specific, concise, and thoughtful manner. When you're trying to figure out where to start when answering this question, my recommendation is to start at the bottom of your resume. So this means that you'll start with your education and your earlier experiences, and you'll work to the top of your resume, which are your more recent experiences, your more recent education, and or any positions that are most relevant to the position that you're applying for. I would also recommend then spending less time on those earlier experiences and more time talking about the later experiences that you have, the ones that are more relevant to applying to the position. If you're mid or early career, this might look different for you. If you're in your mid-career, you might only mention, hey, I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and then move on to the next thing pretty immediately. Whereas if you're a more recent grad and you're earlier in your career, you might want to spend a little bit more time talking about your experience there. For example, if you are applying to an HR coordinator, HR assistant job, you might want to talk about the fact that you got your bachelor's in human resources. You might want to talk about some of the classes that you had. You might want to touch on maybe an internship or two that you had. But again, the later on you get in your career, the less you'll want to focus on that type of thing and more you'll want to focus on the more recent experiences. Within the template of moving from the bottom of your resume to the top, you're going to want to focus more on the relevant experiences to the job that you're interviewing for. If you've had a lot of different experiences, you might have many jobs on your resume that could be, relevant to show that you're a super hard worker, that you would be a great employee. But you're going to want to spend more time talking about the experience that are very specific to the job you're applying for. So what does that mean exactly? An example would be if you were applying to a social media manager job, but your previous experience was in marketing. So marketing is a much larger, breadth of role that you can focus on many different tasks. And one piece of marketing might be social media. And then within social media, there are, a whole breadth of tasks there as well. So if you're trying to transition from being in a marketing role to a social media role, you're going to want to briefly touch on the aspects of your marketing role that are not social media related. And you're really going to want to focus on all of the different things you did within social media within your marketing role. As an example, say, as a social media specialist at X, Y, and Z company, I executed strategic goals on X, Y, and Z platforms. And then you can move on to your next experience. As you're moving through that template of bottom of resume to top, you're going to want to lightly address any career changes or shifts that you've had. It's unrealistic to think that any of us haven't had some twists and turns in our career. It's very common for everyone to experience this at one point or another. So my recommendation would be to address it right out of the gate so that you can take control of the narrative that you want to give to the hiring manager or recruiter, and that you can tell them your story instead of them making any types of assumptions. I have something like this on my resume. My undergrad degree is not even remotely related to what I'm doing now. So it's something that as I'm talking about my education and how I transitioned to my first job and my second job, that I created a narrative for to say, hey, I can see that, you might look at my resume and think these things aren't aligning and matching up, but they actually do, and here's why. The last thing I want to touch on is that when you're answering this question, it's vital to be succinct and to keep even your relevant experiences to just a sentence or two. You definitely want to provide the recruiter with as much information as you think is relevant for the job you're applying for, but at the same time, when they're asking you this question, you don't want to take up the majority of the interview going through your work history. You want to give them enough information for them to know that each of your experiences has been leading to the point of you getting this job and to you being qualified for this job. But you also want to leave, a little bit of mystery, leave some space for them to ask questions and dig into the points that are really important for them and for this specific position. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below in the comments box and I'll get back to you. If you watched all the way through and you like this content, let me know by hitting the like button and I will make more of these videos. Hope you have a nice day. Bye.